Hey everybody, before we get started, just a reminder this is brought to you by our patrons like Anna DeHarp, Go Comics, Architect 10, Plex G, Carlos, Qua, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kylie 10, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Ground, Shawnee P, Some Guy Named Bob, send us on over to our 73 and Zach Reed. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You get access to episodes and lots of other goodies. It really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody. I just had to, guys. How could I not? Anyway, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk FGO Wanted, the show where we let you know if you want to roll that 5-star. Yes, it's a 5-star. We're on a relative return to form today. Yes, that means still no fancy graphics package. Don't worry, I'm thinking about how to do that, but we'll get back to that later. For now, it's doing the classic bits. So, today we'll be talking about new, limited, 5-star Assassin, comma, hence the intro. That's technically Karma Chameleon, but that guy's not pronouncing any R's in there. Anyway, if this is your first time checking out Let's Talk FGO Wanted, this is a show where we talk about 5 stars, and we break the show down into 4 rough segments. Yes, we are actually doing all 4 segments today. Yay. First, we will talk about a character's IRL history and folklore. Then we will talk about their Fate lore with a capital L, and any other appearances they have in Fate. Then we will talk about their mechanics. Some people like to roll for mechanical niches, and the Servant has some interesting ones. We'll talk about that all later. And then, of course, we talk about their rarity. Not their star rarity, but how frequent their rate-ups are. Also in there, I'll throw in some extra stuff like interludes, other weird things you need to know, and so on. And that's really it. There's not much else to talk about this, and we've got quite a lot of work to do. I prepped my notes very specially, so let's go ahead and jump on in to Kama. Alrighty. So, speaking of the history. First of all, Kama's proper name should probably be Kamadeva. This is an alternate name, but that should probably be the full name. Kamadeva is the god of love and other stuff in Hinduism. And as you can see from the bed image I'm using, Kamadeva has a very similar function to Eros in classical mythology, because he's armed with bows and arrows, which are tipped with 5 flowers, which reflect 5 different states of desire. They're really cool in metal, but I'm not going to go into them now. It doesn't matter. So, Kamadeva is the son of Brahma, a key Hindu deity, and his wife is Rati, goddess of lust and passion. Yeah, Kamadeva is male, normally. That's actually referenced in the works. We'll circle back to that. Also, as you can see from the image, he rides a parrot. That's pretty cool. So, Kama literally means desire, or some other contextual things. It's one of the 4 big elements of human life in Hinduism, you know, how you live your life and stuff. This includes dharma, virtue, artha, prosperity, and moksha, self-actualization, or liberation. And hopefully I pronounced all that stuff correctly. In modern writing, it also refers to sexual desire. Yes, the same Kama of the Kama Sutra. Also, fun parenthetical fact, the Kama Sutra is not just a sex manual, it's also a life manual and stuff. Fun times. But historically, it's any kind of aesthetic or personal pleasure relating to the 5 senses. It can be like an emotionally fulfilling desire, it can be a like, oh, it's a pretty painting desire, all that stuff there. A lot of complex things. Fun fact, which is kind of fate-related, in Blavatsky's, yes, that one's, Theosophy, Kama is one of 7 principles of human life and represents emotions, desire, and lust. So it's still got a little bit of that in there, but also just general love stuff. Kamadeva has several other epithets, including one without a body, or one without body. He who intoxicates with love, he who conquers all. Pretty funny to hear that stuff. If you guys don't know about Indo-European syncretism, look it up sometime. It's pretty wild. So that first one without a body, this is because of Kamadeva's most famous and major myth, his incineration by Shiva. So basically, Indra and the other deities are getting their asses kicked by an Asura who can only be defeated by the son of Shiva. But Shiva is busy meditating. In the profile translation, they say he's training. I don't know, I guess it's because it's more anime. Anyway, to help Parvati, Indra enlists Kamadeva to wake up Shiva so he can fuck his wife. However, after striking Shiva with an arrow and lots of other heroic things we don't care about, Shiva opens up his third eye and completely incinerates Kamadeva, turns him to ash. Parvati now begs her awake husband to revive Kamadeva. He does so, allowing him to live as a bodiless existence who can spread the spirit of love to humans across the universe. So, you know, becomes less of a physical guy who shoots arrows of love and more of a cosmic love force. This is another recurring mythological theme. Then they bone. So yeah, they do actually solve that problem. There's also another major myth that Kamadeva is reincarnated as Pradyumna, if I'm saying that correctly, son of Krishna, but that's not related to the servant, so we'll skip it for now. Just, there's a lot of reincarnation going on. So, in FGO, Kama is obviously a pseudo-servant, using Sakura Mato as a base. Kama is a Sakura face. This is said to be because of Sakura's dark Sakura personality, mostly seen in Heaven's Feel type stuff. And Kama is much more like dark Sakura in personality than, say, Parvati is. Parvati is good, fluffy Kohai Sakura. That said, as a servant, Kama is mostly Kamadeva in personality and behavior. A lot of her personality tropes are because of her history as Kamadeva. They just are a similar personality that meshes. And as we explained earlier in history, Kamadeva has probably the best reason yet to be a pseudo, because Kamadeva is literally a bodiless force who can appear at will, and has some unique abilities as a result. We'll see that come back in mechanics. Yeah, this is probably the best excuse to have a pseudo. There's no, weird possession angle so you can manifest. I mean, there is, but also, literally, Kamadeva doesn't have a body, because Shiva blew it up. So, as noted in her profile and skills, Kama is also somewhat associated with Mara, a god of death and a great adversary in Buddhism, and who you may know as a giant penis monster in SMT. I haven't found any high-level links between Kamadeva and Mara in my own research. Obviously, I only have a couple of weeks to do this, so it's not like I can hit up the scholarly library. But Mara is considered a ruler of the sensuous realms, and there is a concept in Buddhism called the Desire Kingdom or Desire Realm. Kama Adhatu? Adhutu? There's a couple long A's in there. Anyway, I don't find a strong link, but there's some linguistic links, and I could see Nasu doing a Nasu on that one. So, being linked with Mara, who is a god of desire and also death, and being the one who injured Shiva is what grants Kama her assassin class, as far as I can tell. It's even noted in her profile she should normally be an archer. And also gives her her chaotic evil alignment. This may also just be to deliberately compare her with her lawful good counterpart Parvati. Similar to how Aresh is chaotic evil, whereas Ishtar is lawful good. Aresh could probably be seen as a lawful evil normally, but we're creating opposites, because Nasu. So those are your specific lore things. Now, Kama is a major character in the Tokugawa Labyrinth OQ event coming up, hence why we're doing this video. This serves as her introduction. She is also a bonus servant in Glorious Santa Claus Road, the Santa Carna event in Christmas 2020. I don't think she's got any main story association. I didn't see her as a boss or a story support servant, but you never know. She could still have a speaking role. So I think our only other lore fact, obviously avoiding lots of spoilers for the brand new event, is that Kama's changing appearance appears to be due to her ability to be a bodiless god of desire. So she changes her form based on the desires of enemies and allies alike. That's really it that I can get into without spoilers, obviously. You'll learn more as we clear that event. So good luck with that, guys. So, on to those mechanics. Kama, SSR Assassin, you know the drill there. She has moderate HP and attack for an assassin, falls pretty firmly in the middle ground for those two there. Her deck, as you can see, is Quick Arts Buster Buster. She's got good hit counts and NP gain stat to make up for that one arts card, so her NP gen should actually be pretty decent. Get those chains in. So her NP is pretty self-explanatory. It's a single target quick, so you've got high damage output. It does have an 80% chance to inflict charm for one turn, so a semi-stun. It has a lot of hit counts, so people will enjoy that, obviously. The most important thing here, I think, is that it applies quick card effectiveness for 3 turns. So it's a little small, but it lasts a couple of turns. We'll cycle back to that when we talk about strategy and stuff. So her first skill is pretty interesting. It gives a targeted ally 1 time of overcharge for 3 turns. However, it decreases that ally's max HP by 1k, and then it also heals Kama 2 to 4k HP depending on your skill level. I see no notes that her first skill can't be used to give herself overcharge and still heal. It heals her and then also applies the max HP. Just remember that the max HP reduction by 1k is without a time limit, so you'll want a debuff remover if you're going to do that strategy. Otherwise, it gets spicy. So her second skill gives her 20 to 30% attack up, depending on your level, and also applies a 2 to 4k Guts. Now, as far as I've checked, this Guts has no time limit. It sticks until it's used or it gets removed, which is pretty interesting, very mechanically unique. 4k's not bad either. The attack is over 3 turns also, so that's pretty decent for those numbers. And then her third skill is her big one. You know most of these SSR servants have at least one big complex skill. So her last one, Mara Papias. It's an EX rank skill. It's got to be good. This is a 30 to 50% battery, that magic number. It also drops enemies charm resistance for 20 to 40% for 1 turn, and increases her critical damage by 20% for 3 turns. But the most important thing is it gives her class advantage against alter egos. I Don't see this really noted anywhere, but I'm going to assume it's the double damage, and also I assume the class resist, because it straight up gives class advantage. Anyway, that's her most unique ability, is the fact that she straight up acquires class advantage versus alter egos for 3 turns. It's one of her primary niches, because, as I've discussed before on the podcast, alter egos don't really have a counterplay. So she's got what you'd expect from a pseudo, the suitably diverse range of passives. She's got a magic resistance A and a writing A, so her quick cards hit pretty good, and she's got a decent debuff resistance. She also has independent manifestation C, like Merlin or Void Shiki. This gives her 6% crit damage up, 6% mental resistance, mental debuff resistance, and death resistance as well. So, gives her a little bit of extra debuff spice and gives her a critical bonus. And then she's got a unique passive, the Essence of the God of Love Essence, however you want to do it. This applies a positive damage modifier and also makes Kama straight up immune to Charm. I believe this is our third instance of a servant with a passive being straight up immune to a status effect. Summer BB is immune to Burn, and Benny Enma is immune to Skill Seal, aka Silence. So, Kama cannot be charmed. However, this does, by the way, mean that Kama does not get the inherent Goddess Core big debuff resist. That's probably why she has MRA. That and the fact that she has Magic Resistance A and Writing A sounds a lot like maybe an Archer passive. Funny how that works. So, Kama's role as an ST assassin is obviously as a boss killer. Not only is she able to take on Riders with a decent damage modifier, but she also gets class advantage versus alter egos. Very, very rare. The only way you really get that normally is with Zerkers, and that's, the same thing for everybody. Her multi-turn offensive buffs specifically gear her towards spamming her NP or follow-up critical turns using the stars she generate. Pretty standard quick stuff. While her defensive options such as that big self-heal, that unlimited guts, and a very decent charm chance means that she's likely to survive those several turns to use her buffs. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about quick kits that work, right? She can actually charge her NP, use it, it's got a lot of hits, she's got quick enhancing effects, she should generate stars, those stars should come back to her, she can use those stars to crit. If you crit with the right cards, you can maybe go into another NP. So in terms of synergy, being quick focused and having high hit counts, Kama obviously gets along with Scotty, though in more of a sense of story bosses or challenge quests than loop farming. I don't really think you use Kama for looping in that farm sense, but definitely you can get some shenanigans done with bosses. Because her primary card types are Buster and Quick, Kama also gets along well with Osakabe Hime, who provides max HP to offset Kama's demerit, and additional crit and card color strength. Hime also has a buff strip, which will get rid of troublesome hard defenses which Kama can't really deal with, you may have noticed from the kit. Semi-support AoE hitters, like future Kichihogen and current Semiramis, at least I think current Semiramis, I believe she's gotten that buff already. Anyway, they can complement Kama in clearing ads and doing that semi-support thing we talked about. Also, because Kama is chaotic evil, as we mentioned earlier, she does fit nichely into the future buff niche of Ashi Adoman, who is an alter ego. He helps chaotic and evil servants, so they go along well. Since alter egos don't have any major class weaknesses, just normal damage from berserkers, you can also try neutral damage extra classes to support her, like Amor Karen has quick combos, for instance, for that niche. So a variety of support options can be used. In terms of CE choice, I mean, she's got a 50% battery, so stuff like Golden Sumo or One Summer, can be used. If you don't level that skill at all, it also works perfectly fine with an MLB Imaginary Element, also, Other than your usual 50% battery shenanigans, I would say to focus on the usual things you do for a single target unit. Probably quick up purely, or NP damage up, because you're planning on using quick cards or her NP. You can add a side of critical strength for follow-through. That said, as she lacks them and some of our alter ego friends do like tricks such as invuls and dodges, you can also consider any of the wide variety of CEs that grant Pierce Invul or Sure Hit immediately. If you've got it, Decapitating Bunny is probably great. Now, to include our other little mechanical thing we like to do, Kama's Ascension Mats aren't too crazy if you're stocked up on Void Dust. You need 24 of those for the last one. If you missed your chance to stock up on mirrors, I know a lot of people farmed pretty hardcore during Valentine's, but if you did miss them, there's a Shimosa free quest for them. Remember it, you can look it up. Now, her skill mats, in my opinion, can get a little spicy, however. Per skill, she's going to need 15 total lamps at that last level up there, and 11 hearts. Obviously, these are older mats. They're not brand new, but hearts have always been an in-demand mat, and that's a lot of lamps as well. So keep that in mind if you're planning on that perfect day one, level 100, 10, 10, 10. Now let's talk about the rarity to wrap this all up. I gotta warn you, Kama does not have a lot of future raid-ups. It's just the OQ banner this year, and then it's a rerun next year. She's present in all future Lucky Bags, of course. But yeah, you're not gonna get a lot of shots at her so far in our 2-year precog window. Now, we can speculate that based on the fact that it was billed as having direct links to Lost Belt 4, OQ may end up a main interlude. When that happens, she could get a new banner, but there's no news on that yet as of the time I'm recording this. That's all speculation. Do not count on it. If you want her, get ready to Lucky Bag fish, or roll now or roll next year. Got it? Also, in the following year, after the OQ rerun, she has an SQ interlude, but was not on the banner during that campaign. So she does have an interlude. It's for St. Courts. There's no banner that she's on associated with that. So, pretty rare. Got a very unique niche. Obviously a very in-demand unit because she's a soccer face drawn by ReDrop, the CE artist of such fame as Royal Icing, Halloween Princess, the works. So, Kama's very in demand, and I think she's got some interesting things going on. I forgot how much I love ReDrop. I'll probably do a little bit of rolling, but I can't go too apeshit. We got Lost Belt 4 and Demon King Nobu coming, so gotta keep an open heart and mind. Always next year. And that's today's Wanted. I hope you liked that one. In case you couldn't tell, I did in fact tighten up my notes, which means that this was a lot less rambly and a lot more focused. So I hope you liked that bit. Now it's time to do the usual outro thing. So, if you like this episode, be sure to give it a like. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. Again, I do ask you to please refrain from saying I'm not going to roll for Kama in the comments, at least. I know you guys like engagement, but that's a very pointless comment. You can also join us on Discord. That link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. If you're new here and haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel so you can always get our latest videos, like future episodes of Wanted and our regular weekly podcast, Let's Talk FGO, where we talk about FGO every week. And of course, even if you're already subscribed, please hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video, because sometimes FGO shim-shams me and they make announcements in the middle of the night and I have to throw out Wanted videos ahead of my planned schedule. So if you hit that bell for notification, you always know when this Wanted is going to drop. You can also join our channel membership to support us. Click the join button or click the link in the description. And of course, as it said at the front of the video, consider supporting us on Patreon. You could have gotten this episode early and lots of other goodies, such as audio downloads of our podcast or at higher levels listening to our podcast live. And in general, it's a really good time and really supports us. So, I will see you guys in the next Wanted. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure unless we get a schedule upset, that should be Ganesha/Jinako? I'll have to check on that. Boy, that's going to be great. Going to bounce from a pseudo to a pseudo. And if I'm wrong, you can tell me that in the comments. I haven't double-checked the banner list while I'm recording this, so man. Alright, anyway, I hope you guys had fun. Kama's pretty interesting from a mechanic and lore standpoint. I do think that they maybe picked a figure who has some notable mythology, but is very simple so that they could do kind of their own thing with it. And I hope you guys have fun with OQ. It sounds like it's going to be a wacky and wild event. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.